What's going on, guys? Jason here from the Comprehensive Dentist, and I got a question for you. Have you ever placed a composite and then after you place it, you look at it and you think to yourself, maybe the shade's just not right, something's just a little off, it doesn't quite match the adjacent teeth? Well, if this has ever happened to you, in today's video I'm going to introduce you to a product called Optiglaze Color by GC Corporation. It's a light cured characterization material that you can use on your composite restorations to maybe help them blend a little bit better. Now, I literally just got this kit and I've spent a little bit of time familiarizing myself with what's inside. So in today's video, I'm going to actually go over the indications for this material. We're going to spend a little bit of time looking at what's actually in the box, and then I'm going to talk to you about how you can use this in your dental practice. Now, this specific material can be used to characterize indirect and direct composite restorations. You can also use this for acrylic denture bases, acrylic denture teeth, and PMMA type materials. This is not indicated for natural teeth or for ceramic restorations. Now, this kit gives you the ability to change shades, shift value, characterize, and glaze all in one product. The kit claims to incorporate nanofiller technology into the shades. Of course, as we know from composite resins, the smaller the particles, theoretically the more particles we can incorporate into the resin, thus increasing strength, wear resistance, and improving polishability. Alright, so let's go ahead and open the kit and take a look at what's inside. So inside the box we have multiple bottles and thus multiple shades to choose from. In the top left of the kit we have two bottles that are a clear and a clear high viscosity. The clear can be used to apply a base coat to the restoration prior to applying the other shades. It can also be used to dilute the other shades, and you can use it to place a surface coat on the restoration after all the other shades have been applied. Now, the Clear HV is a high viscosity version of the clear, meaning it has a little bit more thickness and consistency, but due to the thicker nature of this material, it's probably best to only use this as a surface coat after all the other shades have been applied. Right below the clear shades is what they call the CHROMA adjustment shades. Now, these are labeled A+, B+, and C+. These correspond to your traditional Vita shades. So if your tooth shade is A2, you would choose the A+ bottle if you're going to try to change the actual CHROMA of the tooth. Same applies to B shades and C shades. Now, these shades are very useful if you need to adjust the CHROMA of the restoration because you're slightly off compared to the natural teeth that you shade match to. So if you actually look in the technique card, there's a whole section there that talks about characterization and adjusting the CHROMA. And the far left picture gives an example where, say you have a restoration that is A3 and it's a little bit too light or too bright. Then what you would do is you would actually take the A+ and you would add that to the restoration, thereby giving you an A3.5 shade. Now, the reverse is true. If the composite is a little too dark compared to the natural teeth, you could actually add a white. In this case, they're recommending ivory white to the tooth, and that would help take the shade from an A3 to an A2. And you can also see there in the technique guide, it goes over the effects of B shades and C shades using the B+ and the C+ in the kit. Now on the right side of the kit contains 12 shades, and many of these are mixed with each other to create a new unique shade for some of the characterization techniques listed. So you may use some of these by themselves, or it may require you mix two colors together to create a unique shade for whatever you're doing. Now the booklet for this kit shows you how to characterize a posterior tooth and an anterior tooth using these 12 characterization shades. If you've not done this before, chances are you will benefit from having the technique guide nearby when you're actually characterizing the tooth. So for all 12 colors that you can choose from, the booklet will actually show you some examples of how to use these, but let's actually discuss a few of these shades and how you may use them on the tooth. Now white is actually a good color to use to create like a white banding effect. And then the ivory white can also be used to adjust the chroma, as we mentioned earlier. The red brown is typically used for like fissures, proximal surfaces, and the cervical regions of the posterior teeth. Olive is another good color that you can use for proximal surfaces and cervical regions. Now if you're trying to create an appearance of translucency, they give you 3 different shades here to choose from. You have a lavender, a gray, and a blue shade that can all be used for that purpose. Now red is typically used to characterize like artificial gingiva, so you'd probably be using this more on acrylic denture bases, or you could potentially use this with pink composites that are also indicated to replicate the gingiva. Now the last items in the kit that bear mentioning are the actual brushes and the dispensing dishes. Now for the brushes, the kit comes with 2 handles, and the brush heads are actually stored in this white box. And inside you'll find round brush heads and flat brush heads. Now these brush heads are disposable, and it is recommended that the brush handles receive mid-level disinfection. So typically that would mean you would probably wipe these down with, say, like Cavicide or an equivalent product in your practice. The instructions do not specify when to use one brush head over another. So just pick the one you prefer, and it probably just comes with experience and actually using this a few times. Now the last item in the kit is the disposable dispensing dishes. And each dish contains 6 wells to hold the colors. And so you can use up to 6 different options with one well. If you need more, you may have to pull out an additional well. Now for the posterior teeth, the booklet actually shows you how to characterize the occlusal portion of the crown and how you would actually characterize the buccal side of the crown. On the occlusal, you can see that it recommends using a gray and a lavender mix to create an appearance of cusp translucency. And the fossa and the fissures are characterized with a red-brown shade. On the buccal, they have a few different shades being used to simulate various characterizations. Notably, the olive or red-brown seems to be a good choice for the cervical region of the tooth. Characterizing anterior teeth can be done in a simplified technique or in a more complex manner. Depending on how detailed you want to actually get with your restoration, it would dictate your path. So the complex option does appear to require more mixing of 2 different shades to create unique shades, but the simplified technique is also an option as well. As to do chairside characterization, you'll want to shape and finish your restoration to final contours prior to characterization. It is recommended that the oxygen inhibition layer be removed. If you've already finished and contoured the restoration, you most likely remove the oxygen inhibition layer already. However, alternatively, if you did not remove it, you could use a glycerin gel such as liquid strip or Deox, or you could actually scrub the tooth with a cotton pellet soaked in 70% ethyl alcohol for 10 seconds. Now for some GC specific products, they recommend applying a ceramic primer too prior to characterizing the tooth. The Optiglaze Color directions did not mention the need for ceramic primer 2 or composite primer with other brands of direct materials. But using a composite primer may not be a bad idea prior to application. When researching this product, one technique actually recommended applying the clear Optiglaze Color as a base coat prior to applying the characterization shades. After each application of material, you will definitely want to light cure before applying the next shade. After applying a clear base coat, light curing that, then applying the characterization shades based on whatever your desired effect will be. Again, make sure you light cure after each addition. Once you're satisfied with the characterization, you can then apply a surface coat to the restoration. For this, you can use the clear or the clear HV as a surface coat. Make sure you light cure the surface coat and you are finished. Alright, so that's my overview of Optiglaze Color, and if you think this is something you would like to use in your practice, I would encourage you to pick up one of these kits. I personally don't think this would be useful for every single composite situation because I don't know if I want to go in this much detail on every composite that I place. However, you know, obviously this could be good for those specific cases where you're trying to match the composite a little bit better. Another good indication for this, I think, would be using it for stump shades. If you're going to do a ceramic restoration and you have a stump shade or a base shade that's a little too dark or discolored, you could use some of these shades to actually block out that discoloration prior to fabricating your ceramic crowns. Alright guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any further questions, just let me know.